Hey everybody, back for another review, and this time I'm going to review what may be one of my personal favorite films of all time, and this is Shoot 'Em Up. Shoot 'Em Up is an action adventure slash black comedy that came out back in 2007, and it stars Clive Owen as a man who goes by the name of Smith, who basically one night, just enjoying himself, and all of a sudden he comes across a pregnant woman being chased by an unknown hitman. He ends up getting in on the action, saves her from a bunch of others who start shooting up the place, and of course, she ends up giving birth to a baby, but not long after, she is gunned down, and he ultimately ends up going on the run with this baby, and he's figuring, why are all these hitmen trying to kill this baby? And he ends up crossing paths with an elite hitman played by Paul Giamatti, who's literally hell-bent on trying to kill this baby. And he ends up crossing up with a streetwalker played by the lovely Monica Bellucci, who he has a bit of a history with. And he is basically looking for the perfect woman to mother this baby, as they all go on the run from these hitmen. And as the film progresses, the plot gets more and more bizarre, where, I really don't want to go into too much detail, because I really don't want to spoil the movie too much, especially for people that haven't seen it yet. But for those of you that have, obviously know that the plot definitely goes a lot deeper than you think it does. Basically, all I gotta say about Shoot 'Em Up is that this movie is just non-stop excitement from beginning to end. Literally. I mean, as soon as the logo appears, not long after that, the movie literally just kicks into high gear. Almost, like, probably not even a minute after the New Line logo appears, the movie literally just kicks into high action, and it doesn't let up throughout the entire runtime. I mean, for the movie only being a mere 86 minutes long, this movie does pack an awful lot into it. Yeah, I mean, the story is kind of, it's kind of bizarre, but at the same time, like I said, the action and even the performances by the three leads. I mean, Clive Owen, Paul Giamatti, and Monica Bellucci all give phenomenal performances. And there are endless quotable lines throughout the entire film, especially from both Clive Owen and Paul Giamatti. They both deliver and even Monica Bellucci delivers a couple of fun lines herself throughout the film. Basically, the movie is just loaded with gun shooting action, and plenty of stunt sequences that would basically make John Woo blush. Now, if anybody don't know who John Woo is, he's like one of the best action directors out there. Made great films like Hard Boiled. Hard Boiled being probably one of my top 10 favorite action movies of all time, because that movie literally has everything you could possibly want. I might do a review of that one day, but Shoot 'Em Up is almost like, I feel like director Michael Davis made Shoot 'Em Up to be like a bit of a personal love letter to John Woo. In fact, it was Hard Boiled that actually influenced Michael Davis to make Shoot 'Em Up. Literally. This movie is, yeah, like I said, Michael Davis intended for this film, as I've said, love letter, pretty much. Really don't know what else to say, but there are a lot of great moments in the movie. Like I said, many great one-liners. The love scene with Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci is fantastic, as it's basically one of two movies, as far as I know of, where a couple is having sex and all of a sudden a bunch of guys break in, and he picks up a gun and just starts shooting everybody while he's still mounting the girl. That's unique. I have never seen a film like that before. The only other film I can think of that did that was Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. Another movie I might consider reviewing, maybe after Shoot 'Em Up. I was thinking of watching Drive Angry instead, because Renfield came out this weekend, and Nicolas Cage was in that. Well, maybe I'll do that for my next review. Maybe I'll review Drive Angry. But Shoot 'Em Up, unfortunately, was a bit of a flop upon its release in 2007 by New Line Cinema. Yeah, back when New Line Cinema was its own independent company. In fact, 2007 was probably not the best year for New Line. In fact, not only did Shoot 'Em Up come out that year, but also Golden Compass did too, and that was an even bigger failure. Unfortunately, Shoot 'Em Up was made on a budget of $39 million, which is pretty, healthy for an action movie of this quality. And unfortunately, the film was not that big of a hit, as it only grossed a mere $26 million worldwide, which is a real shame because it's a real shame that a film like this underperformed. Even though it did get decent reviews by critics. It did, because there are a few that actually complimented the film for its fast-paced, kinetic action, funny one-liners, and like I said, the acting is top-notch for an action movie like this. But it's one of those films where, when it comes to action movies, you get what you pay for, pretty much. And this movie, despite having a very short runtime, it really has an awful lot packed into it. So, if you find this movie on Blu-ray at a very cheap price, you're actually you're getting a heck of a deal right there. Even if you find it for over $10, I would still say pick it up. As for unfortunately, that's when around the time that New Line, well, even though Shoot 'Em Up was not a big hit for them, but obviously it did become a big hit on home video. But it was obviously the Golden Compass that brought New Line down pretty low because that film underperformed so badly. And ultimately, New Line was forced to merge with Warner Brothers, so now they are technically part of Warner Brothers now. Shoot 'Em Up on Blu-ray, all I gotta say is this disc is phenomenal. So inside here, there's the Blu-ray. I actually had to buy a second copy because the first disc I had became defective, so I had to buy a second copy. And this one plays just fine, so... But yeah, it's pretty cool. The recyclable logo on the back there because the case is made of plastic. So, but honestly, Shoot 'Em Up looks fantastic on Blu-ray. So much detail to be found in the video, and honestly, I can definitely say New Line put a lot of effort into this movie. It looks beautiful, beautiful in high def. I would say out of 5 stars, I can't say no less than a solid 5 out of 5 for the video. It looks great. As for the audio, I have no complaints there. The audio is presented in 7.1 DTS, and honestly, no complaints with the audio. It sounds just as good as the movie looks. I would say, once again, out of 5 stars, solid 5 out of 5. Oh yeah, the movie is presented in 235x1 Panavision, so yeah, it's got that Panavision look. The 7.1 track is great. The dialogue comes out great. All the gun shootings, the explosions, everything sounds excellent. And of course, the movie also has a rockin' soundtrack too. A lot of great artists: Nirvana, AC/DC, Motorhead, Motley Crue. Oh yeah, for an action movie, you got to have that rockin' heavy metal soundtrack. And honestly, it sounds great. To hear many of these songs play, especially during the shootout sequences. It's great. Especially in a warehouse when the gunfight begins, and as soon as it begins, that's when Ace of Spades by Motorhead starts blaring in the background. And all I gotta say is, now that's what an action movie is missing. So I'm glad to hear that. It definitely has it. It sounds great in the audio. Sounds fantastic. As for bonus features, well, believe it or not, there's actually a decent supplemental package to be found here. Starting off, you get an audio commentary with Michael Davis. There's also an additional commentary. It's a video commentary. It's not featured on the back here, but on the Blu-ray, you'll actually be able to see it. As Michael Davis provides a video commentary while the movie's playing, so it's sort of like a pop-up trivia feature. But the video commentary, I feel like Michael Davis does offer the same tidbit information that he mentions in the commentary. And the audio commentary, the video one's probably about the same thing. But all I gotta say is, this may be one of the best director commentaries I've ever listened to. Because Michael Davis just talks absolute non-stop throughout the whole thing. And he offers so much information about the movie. Like, this movie truly was a labor of love for him. Like, he really wanted to get this thing made. Ballet of Bullets, the making of Shoot 'Em Up. It's basically a comprehensive documentary on the making of the film, interviews with all the stars, Clive, Paul, and Monica, as they all talk about the movie. Michael Davis talks a lot about the film, setting up all the sequences in the movie, setting up all the all the camera work, everything. Basically, he just goes into such incredible detail. It's ridiculous. Also, for also what we got here is the original animatics. Basically, what this is it's basically a nothing more than a. It's basically Michael Davis chose to animate 15 minutes of the film. Basically all the action scenes pretty much shot for shot in storyboard form, just kind of done animatic style. And it's actually kind of interesting to watch, as it definitely goes deep into. It also is basically sort of like a pitch to New Line to allow him to direct the movie, pretty much. There's also it also contains optional commentary with Michael Davis. There's also deleted scenes with optional commentary with Michael Davis. Extra stuff that was shot during the movie, but they chose to leave out for runtime purposes and stuff like that. Also included is a theatrical trailer, actually a Addictive TV remix trailer. Is that right? And a Red Band trailer. So honestly, this is actually not a bad selection of extras to be found here. I mean, this is actually a nice little supplemental package to accompany the movie. I would say out of 5 stars, I would probably give the extras maybe a 4.5. Right here would be a 4-star rating, but thanks to the video commentary, I would probably bump it up to a 4.5. So yeah, I really could just say I would just give the movie a solid 5-star out of 5 out of 5 stars for the film itself, because, like I said, this is one of my personal favorite films, but for all the good reasons. I mean, this movie has everything you could possibly want in a film. And yeah, the runtime flies by pretty quick, but like I said, this movie has an awful lot packed into one film. Plenty of action, great performances by all 3 leads, great one-liners, and the story actually, may be the weakest part of the movie, but it's honestly not bad, and it flows along pretty well. So honestly, if you haven't had a chance to check out Shoot 'Em Up, highly recommend it. If you're in the mood for a good action film that can pass by for almost an hour and a half, you can't do better than this. This movie is highly, highly, highly recommended. Definitely check it out. The Blu-ray is phenomenal. The video and audio are perfect in every way. The extras are plentiful, and there's a wealth of material to look at on the making of the film here. So, and honestly, you can get this Blu-ray pretty cheap on Amazon. Probably for under $10, maybe maybe a little more. But honestly, it's money well worth spent if you're looking for a good, entertaining action film that, it's basically a feel-good movie. It really is. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement. Highly recommended. So, this concludes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will continue to do more movie videos like this in the days to come. So until then, everybody take care and be safe.